Being a student of ESCOMS, a very good morning to each and everyone present here. Today I am Dr. Palak Mahajan going to present my paper presentation on the topic effect of type 2 diabetes mellitus on RNFL in patients of simple myopia by OCT. Introduction. Diabetes mellitus is a common microvascular disorder often linked to complications like neuropathy, nephropathy, cardiovascular diseases, and retinopathy. RNFL health is an important indicator of optic nerve condition, and studies shows diabetes mellitus leads to RNFL thinning. The RNFL consists of ganglion cell, axons, astrocytes, Muller cells, and vasculature. Myopia may affect RNFL thickness, and OCT can measure RNFL thickness to predict myopia progression. OCT is introduced in 1991, is a non-invasive imaging tool for assessing RNFL thickness. DM causes optic neuropathy distinct from glaucoma, with RNFL defects more common in diabetic patients. Aims and objectives to evaluate the effects of type 2 DM on RNFL in patients with simple myopia. Material and methodology. This is a prospective randomized control study was conducted at the Department of ESCOMS, Ophthalmology, Jammu. A total of 60 participants were recruited after obtaining informed consent and approval from the Institutional Ethical Committee. The participants were randomly assigned into two groups, each consists of 30 individuals. Group A included 30 patients with simple myopia who underwent retinal imaging using OCT, and Group B consisted of 30 patients with both simple myopia and a history of type 2 diabetes mellitus for more than 5 years, who also underwent retinal imaging by OCT. Inclusion and exclusion criteria. Inclusion criteria: patients aged 40 years or older with simple myopia, diabetic patients aged 40 years or older with simple myopia, patients with type 2 DM for 5 years duration or more. Exclusion criteria: patients with pathological congenital myopia, primary or secondary glaucoma, or any pre-existing corneal opacity or degeneration, patients with uncontrolled hypertension, and any other retinal pathology. Statistical analysis. The collected data were entered into an Excel sheet and analyzed under the guidance of statistician. Descriptive studies, including the mean standard deviation for each group, were computed. Statistical comparisons between the two groups were performed using the student test with a significance level of p-value less than 0.05. All analyses were conducted using the SPSS version. Results: the mean retinal thickness in Group A was 147.87, while in Group B it was 127.86. A statistical significant difference in retinal thickness was observed between Group A and Group B. P-value less than 0.05. In the temporal and the nasal quadrants of both the right and left eyes, the mean retinal thickness was higher in Group A compared to the Group B. These are the graphical representation, age distribution among the study groups, and this is the mean HB1AC level and RBS among the study groups, and this is the mean retinal thickness of the superior quadrant right and left eye, and this is the thickness of the inferior quadrant, and this is the temporal quadrant, and this is the retinal thickness of the nasal quadrant. Discussion. Retinal nerve fiber layer thickness measurement is crucial for assessing neural damage in diabetes and evaluating optic nerve health. However, RNFL thickness measurement is expensive, specialized technique not widely accessible in India, where many diabetic patients develop retinopathy. Early detection of retinal changes is vital for timely intervention and prevention. Optical coherence tomography offers a valuable tool for this purpose. In our study, males predominated in both groups, with a male to female ratio of 2.75:1. Similar findings were reported by Renu Dhamsana et al. And Rudrajit Paul et al. The majority of the participants in Group A were aged 51 to 60 years, while in Group B, most were in the 40 to 50 years range. These age distributions align with those observed by the Rudrajit Paul et al. Additionally, mean RBS and HB1AC levels were significantly higher in Group A in comparison to Group B, consistent with findings by Rudrajit Paul et al. In our study, the mean retinal thickness in the superior quadrant was 150.82 micrometer in Group A and 130.84 micrometer in Group B, with a statistical significant difference of p-value less than 0.05. This indicates more retinal thinning in diabetic patients, similar to findings by Renu Dhamsana et al. Diabetic superior RNFL loss is linked to lower perfusion and ischemia, which may damage ganglion cells. Rudrajit Paul et al. Reported that the higher blood glucose levels correlate with the thinner retinal layers, poor metabolic control, and longer diabetes duration further contribute to the retinal thinning, even before visible vascular changes appear. Additionally, in our study, inferior and nasal quadrants showed greater thinning in Group B, consistent with findings by Rudrajit Paul et al. And Atanu Biswas et al. Conclusion. Diabetes mellitus negatively impacts retinal nerve fiber layer health. This study highlights the value of OCT in assessing RNFL status at the type of diabetes diagnosis, enabling early detection and ongoing monitoring. Since RNFL thinning in diabetes mellitus occurs independently of glaucomatous changes, OCT can effectively detect neurodegenerative changes in a diabetic patients before the onset of diabetic retinopathy. Thank you. So because in myopic patients already there is a optic nerve cupping, is optic cupping, physiological cupping we can see, and more changes we can see with the myopic patients. That is why the main, because in India there wasn't many studies has been done on this topic. So basically we just wanted to do this study on myopic patients. On myopic patients with myopia. Effect of type 2 diabetes mellitus on RNFL G. In patient, effect of,
Along with diabetes?
in patients who are myopic, who are diabetes plus myopic.
Yeah. So what is happening to
Them.
this nerve fiber
Layer.
thickness? That was your
Yes,
title
sir.
also?
Yes, sir.
Title also
Yes, sir.
included myopia?
Yes, sir.
So myopia itself will be affecting your nerve fiber layer.
Yes, sir.
So then there are two compounding factors. So how will you know how much diabetes is affecting and how much myopia is affecting?
So that is why we have taken two groups, one with the myopia, but without diabetes. We are going to compare if the patient is non-diabetic, then how much RNFL is affected, and in patients with diabetes mellitus plus myopic patients, how much RNFL is going to affect in that patients, in that groups. Basically the purpose of this.
But this could have been done by including more groups.
Yes, so the limitation of the study was this only.
So what are the clinical implications? Right now you know that RNFL is getting affected in diabetic patient. So clinically, how this information can be utilized for better management of these patients?
Sir, clinically, before vascular complications can occur, if the we can get the status of the RNFL by OCT machine, so we can, it's early prevention, like we can give them antioxidants or.
And how will you differentiate that these changes are not due to glaucoma?
So because in glaucoma, there will be a thinning of temporal quadrant. And in
So
this,
in diabetes, which quadrant is more affected?
in this temporal and
But eventually all the segments are
affected, yes, sir.
So
That depends.
Sometimes it will be difficult to differentiate
Yes,
whether
sir.
these changes are due to glaucoma. or
Then we
diabetes.
correlate with certain laboratory values like HB1AC and poor metabolic control.
Chalo, good.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
effort. Next one.
Thank you.
Next student.
The next speaker is Dr. Ananya. She'll be presenting a case on cancer-associated retinopathy.